Hello. Testing 1, 2, 3. So there's some stuff that's been happening recently that I will share probably in the near future. That is exciting, very process related, very um, striking, revolutionary. So I'll share that in time to come. In this video, I wanted to essentially really bring out the world here within my words, within my description. But what does the world really consist of and exist as? Because when we're people in this world, young people, adults, children, we have an idea of what the world is because of what's our immediate environment, where we live, what we see, what we hear. But that's not all that the world consists of. And we have ideas based on what media is available to us, what movies or TV shows or stories or images or news story, what's on the internet. All that is still part of the picture. And that could even be misconstrued, that could be untrue or very idealistic or very, just not what the world is. But this world is a physical, finite world. It is countable. There are only so many human beings alive on this planet. It is a finite number. It is not infinite. There is only so much land on this earth and only so much water. Yes, it is immense, but it's still finite. It's still countable. It's still fixed in a way. So, is it possible to know the world, understand it? Yes. And every little part that you explain or talk about or see or understand, that's another part of it. So I could sit here and speak, let's say, every day for 8 hours for 5 years to describe what the world exists as. The thing is, that is possible in the sense of it's finite, it's fixed. And so what I want to do this in this video is to kind of bring together that picture of what the world actually exists as. And there's so many, you could say, I guess, stories. There's so many histories. There's so many things that could be covered. So really it comes down to what is the most important thing. That includes how, what is it, over 100 years ago, the 1930s, is it? Around there. Here, I can actually look it up. For women's suffrage, they gave women the ability to vote in the United States. In the mid-19th century. So it's actually in the 1800s and something. Let's see. Canada was 1917, and the United States was 1920. So I was right, 1920. So they started in the mid 19th century. So it was like 1869, 1850s. So what, it took them 40 years, 50 years, 70 years of trying to get the ability to vote. It started with just a few people. And this is something that happened on Earth, on this planet, and that is our history. And that is something that's fixed. That's something that will always be our history, will always be our past. You know, that has shaped us and is part of who we are. And that is as an example of some people who started fighting, started something, started to change something specific. So it's part of understanding that everything that we have today in terms of society, in terms of the world, was created through time and was made through decisions and people pushing for points. This ideal world that I know we need to get to, where we can all be relaxed, where we all can be friends, where we can all just realize that every single day and every single moment is lived to the fullest, is precious, is living our fullest expression, living our fullest selves, and being all that we can be. That world where everyone has that, that's going to take time to get to. And it's going to start with people. It's going to start with something. It's going to start with action. It's going to be through this finite change in some way or another. But it's done now. It's done today. It's done through time, through people. This world is finite. It's not magical in the sense of skipping steps or just avoiding people or just controlling people or manipulating people or bringing things about through magic. Things happen through physical steps, through physical time, through physical rules, through physical reality. So those things will be done through the physical. So looking at this world, it's like I can try, right? I can hold the world within me with all the understanding how products are going through planned obsolescence, how the economy works, how money works, how one person, taking one person, how they work, their mind, their world, their reality of who they are. Because even one person, it's immense. There's a lot there. But with taking all these points, it's still all together. It's still all finite. It's still this one world. And we can recreate the world through moments, through people, through situations, through interactions with this world. And it is about, some of us understanding that, let's say, bigger picture of where we're at and how we're going to get there practically. For example, even with money, raising funds so that you can have people out there who can do certain works that will help bring things out to pay for those works. One of the things that would be really interesting would be to really push the point of seeing who is willing to work with ourselves, with the human being, with who we are, to work with the point of how do we as an individual change and how do we choose? How do we get from one point to another point? Stopping an addiction, stopping a habit, literally changing and transforming ourselves. The real nitty gritty, the real science of that. To really open up who we are, open up the hood of who we are, the mechanical part of ourself, of our personality, and really giving ourselves, individuals, the power to really change and recreate ourselves. And something I already know is that you cannot have access to real power in any way that isn't through oneness and equality. To really be able to even change yourself, that requires having that access and that respect for oneness and equality. You have to be living that point. It's literally impossible to do so otherwise. Life will deny you access because it's essentially yourself denying yourself access to prevent you from doing more harm. But that truth, and for that truth that I'm saying to be known to people, to be understood by other people, requires already a whole other process of understanding, of investigation, of an individual looking and seeing for themselves how and why that is. Yet, I see the possibility if we really do study this point, if we really do explore this point as a few individuals, as a group, as more and more people, it becomes something that can be discussed, that can be understood, that can be shared and explained to a child, and that child understands immediately. And really, literally giving them a life path and a key that changes their life so dramatically. There are only so many people on this world, on this planet. And each one can change through time. I mean, they could. That's the point, is they can. And that it's finite. So I'll end it here. I may share a video to come in relation to what it is that I've been working with in this mind, in this self, in this body, and what I've seen so far.